Welcome to another episode of the History of Hyenas. Chrissy D Yanni P, Venetia, Zach, Mike Emoji Face, and now we got a guest, the King of Park Slope, the Prince. He's the King of Brooklyn, the Prince of Park Slope. Colin Quinn, everybody.
Sultan.
The great Colin Quinn.
The great Colin Quinn.
Nice guys.
Yeah, it's fucking. I don't even have to give this guy an introduction.
No.
He's just CQ, baby.
I mean, he's as much of a potato monkey as you get.
He's a
With a
definition
name like
of a potato monkey.
Colin Quinn.
Colin Quinn from
Yeah.
Brooklyn Park
Yeah.
Slope.
Yeah, Brooklyn Park Slope, which used to be an Irish. I remember as a kid was Irish. We don't have to get into it right away. I was just saying, like, I just remember kids named Colin and Quinns everywhere.
And if you're out of borough trash like I am, and the biggest accomplishment in my career was getting a retweet from Colin Quinn to my friends. They don't care about anything else they did. Like, yo, Colin Quinn fucking retweeted my friend.
Me too. He retweeted my special. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, CQ,
Yeah.
baby.
Special's hilarious, by the way.
Thank
I don't
you.
know how it's
Wow.
doing, but it's so
Not
Thank
well.
you.
It's not doing well.
no, but it's great.
I thought you thought I was Joe DeRosa for like the last 5 years.
No,
I didn't even know you knew my name, even though you were married to my cousin's wife.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's wild.
That's
That's
a wild
crazy.
story.
That's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
That's a crazy
It is
story.
a wild story. Yeah. Thank you.
But now
for
Colin's
saying
got a
that,
new
though.
wife.
That means everything to me.
I was
Now
at
I
the
don't care.
wedding.
I don't care if it gets views now. I really appreciate that.
What do you mean? The special's great. Of course you want views.
But it's
Real
not getting
comedy.
them.
That's the problem. But go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's fucking real comedy he's doing.
Yeah, it's real.
By the way,
comedy.
make a clip of that.
it's
Yeah, that's
real
good.
comedy. You're right.
Yeah, I was at your wedding.
Yeah.
So was Jerry Seinfeld. Who cares?
yeah.
Yeah, it was a great
I saw
wedding.
Jerry Seinfeld last night. Did a preview of The Irishman. Jerry had some friends for a preview of The Irishman
Good movie?
at one of those preview houses.
Yeah.
Is it good? Why do you say it like automatically we're going to sign off and say it's good? No, actually, it was an unnecessary movie, if you want the truth.
That's why I'm asking you. 3 hours?
Unnecessary.
Really?
First of all, and this will actually help us with Park Slope, part of the problem was that it was set in a lot of it's upstate New York and Philly. And the Philly part, no one's doing the accent, which is infuriating because the
Yeah.
Philly accent is
Yeah,
fun
be
to
like,
hear.
hey, I would like a Wooter and a Hoogie, and it's Happy Tuesday.
Would you like a Coke?
Would you like a Coke?
You want to get home?
Do you like the Eagles?
Come here to phone.
Yeah. Eagle.
Do you like the Eagles?
How about the time DePaulo made some joke in South Jersey about, he goes, yeah, what is this guy? What's his qualifications? He was an Eagle Scout. And some guy goes, go Giants. And DePaulo went on a 20-minute rampage. You cocksucker. I fucking hate you fucking people. You're my fans. You fucking idiot. You don't know what I was talking about. Talking about the fucking Eagles.
Yeah. He fucking snapped. He moved down south. Yeah. It's funny to watch a guy snap and just leave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't say that. He's asked not to say that where he is publicly.
Oh, can we cackle that,
Yeah.
Dan?
I just said he's in the southern United States.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's set upstate, you said?
Yeah.
And in
it's set
Philly-
upstate, and it's, it's great. I mean, they're all amazing, and it's great, the scenes, but there's no reason for that to be 3 hours and 20 minutes.
He's making them too long. All his most recent movies have been too long.
Is he going senile?
I like The Department. If The Departed was like 40 minutes shorter, if Casino was like 20, 30 minutes shorter.
And those are the ones we liked.
Yeah, and those are the ones I
We're
really
not even
liked.
counting the ones we don't like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of violence in it? Like Goodfellas kind of shit?
There was some, but there was some good violence. It was a pretty good violence.
They never found Jimmy Hoffa, right?
No,
Where
they
is
never
he?
found Jimmy
Where do you think he is?
And
Where's
that's
your guess?
Giant Middle Age.
Yeah. They got a new mall over there now. They got those are
Yes.
that big new mall.
Maybe they'll dig him up during the new mall.
And you know what? They said, it's interesting you say that. They had to keep stopping construction. It took like 2 years longer than expected because they kept finding bodies in the Meadowlands. They would have to, FBI would
Really?
have to come examine it. Of course, they'd say, oh, we can't fucking do anything. It's bones. But they found like 6 bodies making that fucking mall because that's where the Mafia used to dump shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
God, it was so easy to kill a guy back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you just took him out. There was no cameras.
I mean, just throw them in the Gowanus Canal. People used to just throw bodies like by their house. They just go drive down the street, throw them in the Gowanus Canal, put a cinder block on them, and that was it.
That's why he's right into Park Slope.
Yeah.
That's where the Gowanus Canal is.
Yeah.
I know where the Gowanus Canal is.
You don't know
Fine.
nothing. You're a kid from Queens.
Yeah.
I know exactly where the Gowanus Canal is.
Yeah,
He didn't-
well, the Gowanus, they're cleaning it up now.
They did clean
They're
it up.
trying to clean it up.
Oh, they are.
Because when we were kids, it smelled like it was unbelievable, that smell.
You could smell it from Park Slope.
Really?
If you
Yeah.
caught a wind off the, like literally. You
It
could
was
smell
terrible.
If you were on 9th Street, on like 9th Street, like you could smell like a waft as it came up.
Yes,
it was
really?
gross.
It was really powerful.
Yeah,
It
Interesting.
was really polluted.
on a windy day.
A lot of people got got cancer that live down there.
Really?
Yeah, that live right by the Hyenas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, if you go down there, there's like you see like guys. They have like a canoe. There's like a canoe race.
Yes.
You see like guys canoeing.
Oh yeah, there's like a
And-
furniture store down there.
The edgiest place is open mic night at the Bell House.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a show there Sunday, November 9th. Get tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, November 10th.
Come see me. Come
Okay, Norton.
Come
Yeah.
see me at Straight Breast Milk. That's the name of my show. They always got like a weird name. Straight
Breast
Breast
Milk.
Milk.
I was happy to get you on this podcast because you love history, and that's all we
I
talk.
do love
we talk
history.
about history. We talk about it for like 10 minutes, and then the rest of it is just making fun of everybody.
Oh,
We should
but-
actually be paying him tribute for doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Because he's like kind of the Don of comedy history.
Yeah, it's like if you try to do it
I'm
like
totally into it. Exactly. That's what I
it's
love.
like,
Yeah.
it's like we only could continue doing this history podcast because Colin allowed it.
Yeah. Back in the
And-
day, he would have showed up and been like, guys, you kind of fucking encroaching on my thing.
But especially, I'm obsessed with the Greeks. Let's face it. When you think about the Greeks, would stand-up comedy exist without the Greeks laying down this
This
concept?
guy's got a hard on right now. Keep going.
Yeah, I know.
Yannis
So does
is
she.
fully erect.
So she.
Because think about it.
Yeah.
So, those early philosophers, Socrates, they were the first ones to go, listen to me. Listen to me. I want to talk about something. And then everybody listened. They go, this is not leading anywhere. Not leading to a battle. It's not leading to building anything. I just want to talk about something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why we
That's
became
stand-up,
comedians.
yeah.
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 The sophists were really good at that, right? Like
Yes.
they would like they especially went nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it was just all smoke and mirrors. They were like the like
They were like some of these Netflix specials now. It's just pure sophism. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of Netflix specials like, oh, look at this sophist.
Do you feel like
Pure sophistry.
Do you feel like we're living through a time where like the search for truth is over, kind of like that time, where
30 tyrants.
like Socrates was living and it's all
And they
bullshit.
poisoned him. Yeah.
Hemlock. Shout out Hemlock.
Yeah, because you say the truth, you get in trouble now.
Yes, exactly.
But people who are just fucking saying nothing are flourishing.
and it's funny because since it's about Park Slope, when we were growing up, one thing about Park Slope, and it was like that since I was a kid, and I'm sure it was like that when you were a kid, it was very multicultural. Like everybody was always around each other. Everyone went to school together. Everyone did things together, and it was plenty of drama.
Right.
But people spoke truth ethnically. You could identify. It was just a different. All of New York was like that.
Sure.
And people would say things and it wouldn't be a moment where the nation had to soul search.
Right.
It would just be like, oh yeah, this kid said something.
Right.
Because this kid's black, this kid's white, this kid's Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
Italian, Jewish, and so it was really, it was who knew that would be, something that would go away, even
Yeah.
in New York.
yeah,
Yeah.
but a lot of times you'd say it, and that person would be like one of your really close friends.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's why when I remember I was
Sleep,
watching
take shits at your house. You can't get closer than that.
I was watching New York Story, which is Colin's Netflix special, one of his Netflix specials, and I remember I was watching it when it first came out, and I was still with my kid's mom, and I was holding my my kid's grandmother, who's Puerto Rican, was holding my daughter, and we were watching New York Story, and when it got to the Puerto Rican section, because I'm so conditioned now to be like, oh, white people can't talk about anything, I was like, oh boy, and she was laughing her ass off.
Yeah.
And she was like, what's his name? And I was like, oh, that's Colin Quinn. And I was like, he's from Park Slope, actually. And she's like, does he have an older brother too?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. She's like, he looks like somebody. Maybe I think find out what high school his older brother went to.
Did he used to go to the Salty Dog to watch Jets games?
No, she asked if she used to go
I
to.
used to bartend there.
No, she used to ask. She asked, and he probably is true. She's like, did his brother used to go to the Irish Haven on 4th Avenue? I'm like, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you meet anyone who's like half Puerto Rican, half Irish, it's like the chances that their parents met in Brooklyn are 100%.
It's 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and it's like New York is a place. I always felt like New York was a place growing up. Like, of course, racism exists, but we can get away with our comedy kind of stepping right up to the line when it comes to like race, because really, it's so stupid to hate anybody, to be a racist, hateful person in New York, because the person you hate, you're going to see on the train in 5 minutes. So you could hate whatever group, but you're not going to. Whereas if you're a racist in some other state, it's like you can truly just detach yourself from that group.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about like the racism where you're not exposed to other people is more like a paranoid. Like if I see any of them, I'm gonna kill all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Whereas here it's like this fuck. You know how they are.
Right.
You know how they fucking are.
Right.
It's
Right,
like
but
I
it's
see them
still-
every day. You know how they fucking are. You know how Jews are. It's like
It's like I told the story about my pops during Hurricane Sandy when he
Hurricane Sandy the storm. Not
Hurricane Sandy the storm, not no disrespect to anybody in the Middle Eastern culture. Hurricane Sandy the storm. And Staten Island was ravaged by it, and a lot of the people that live right on the coast lived in bungalows, and for the most part, they were like, Latino families. And my dad lived more inland on Staten Island, so he would go every day, pick up kids that needed help, take them to school, help
Get
with
a
the
lotto
furniture.
ticket.
Yeah, get a lotto ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, curse out my mother.
Yeah.
And then he would say he took one family in, one Mexican family in, and he let them live with him for 2 weeks. Every day, took the kids to school, fed the family, like whatever. But because he's New York, when the family came in, he was like, "Whoa, hide the silverware, Diane." He would say, he was calling the head guy of the patriarch of the family, his name was Julio. He was calling him Jose. He was like, "What's the difference?"
Yeah.
But it's like just being fun, New York. But so it's like right now, like fucking some virtue signaler would crush my father and be like, he's the next Hitler. But meanwhile, he was to that family,
Right.
to the family he took in. They're like, I don't care. I could deal with a
right.
couple of these little jokes. Your dad saved our lives.
Yes.
Actions
speak loud words. But also, I feel like this is a theory you guys will probably like. There's like people that tell you how you feel about something before they say, hey, you'll like this. It's like, we'll decide after.
Yeah.
But is that a lot of the people that didn't grow up, a lot of the people that set the rules of New York ethnic non-identification grew up subconsciously in their mind. They want everybody to be the same so that they can recreate the bland suburban strip mall that they grew up in.
Right.
So they're subconsciously doing it. So they're like, no, we want everybody the same because that's how we grew up. So that means that's good.
Right.
Instead of going, I left there for a reason.
That's interesting. I never thought about it that way.
makes
They
sense,
probably
though.
have no choice in that. You're saying it's like a subconscious thing because that's what they know. That's how they're conditioned.
Yeah. So they think they're actually being 10 times more racist than anyone could ever be.
Right.
By not identifying people's, like I always used to say, celebrate diversity. Don't point out people are different,
Right.
And so they're, what they mean, it's just so obvious to me that there's something off with it,
Well, there's this recent video going around. I don't know if you saw it on the subway where this woman is just standing by. Did you see? Anyone see this? Where this dude?
Can we pull it up?
Dude, he's a black dude. He's like going crazy, and he's like yelling stuff, and she's just standing there. She's like, you can always tell who's not from New York because they're just like pretending it's not happening. They're not moving. They're like, if I move away, he's gonna think I'm racist.
Right.
And then he just shoved her into the tracks.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. You ever get in a subway car and like when there's like a homeless person who stinks like shit, and then like you see the people who are just trying to avoid the smell.
yeah.
You're like, they're not from New York. And then the people from New York are like, they get on the train, they're like, fuck, this place smells.
Yep.
Is it this man arrested in brutal charge on camera subway shove?
It could be.
4 days ago? Is
What
this
was
4
this?
days ago?
Yeah, it could be it. Yeah. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I
this
can't
is
wait
it.
to fucking. There's an ad about Colgate or something.
Oh,
This?
I'm not sure if.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that might have been it.
Was that it? Was that you, Venetia?
Yeah,
I can't watch this. This is actually my real fear when I ride.
Yeah,
the
like she's
subway.
standing around. See, like, look at her. She's standing. Like, get out of there.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you got to get out of there.
Yeah. What are you doing?
You can't look for. Hey, guys, there's
Yeah.
a solution to this.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I was on a train about a month ago, and there's a lady comes on in a full burqa, only her eyes are covered.
Right.
So that's
Stormtrooper.
still even
Stormtrooper.
into,
Yeah. Fully
what's it-
muzzed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she sits down. There's about 20 of us in the car, and there's this old homeless black dude, and he's just like this. I didn't even know he didn't even clock her, but of course he immediately clocked her. And then we're all sitting in the train. It's quiet, but she's like, really, it's so intense when it's just the eyes.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's not even looking at it. He just goes, "Yeah, I ain't looking to get blown up today." And he goes, I ain't looking to die on this train. I ain't looking to die on no E train. And then these two ladies, one is like, "Sir, this is New York. We don't do racism here." Like this lady just decides to be the savior.
Yeah.
White lady comes strolling over.
Yeah.
And
It's
it was just
hilarious.
so funny because you
Would
knew
have been
it
funny
was-
if he just took some shit and threw it at her.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He wouldn't stop then. He's like, "Yeah, I know. I know one thing.
Would have been.
They're
fun-
going to say he died on the train." She's not going to the whole thing.
Or if like those two white ladies come over and like we don't do this racism on New York, and that's when she detonates.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was on the train too. I don't
I
like
don't want
the
to
ending.
see CQ go.
I don't like that end.
Not yet. All right, fine, yeah.
Although I would like to die on the train, which is another thing. Park Slope is a pain in the ass, the train, because it's the F train.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
You get to the F train, 8th or 7th, there's no solution. 9 blocks from my house, 7 blocks from his house, and you still have to walk through the tunnel, and you hear the train going, and you miss it every time.
Every time on the F train, yeah. That's a unique Park Slope thing.
You just
that
always
only
miss the
someone
train?
from Park. You would get there and you would try to run, but you'd have to run this whole tunnel to get to
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Because especially if you got in on 8th Avenue, then you got to run it because the train is all the way down. You're
Yes.
fucking running and you always miss it.
The worst.
You always hear it, and then it goes like the speed. It's like embarrassing how slow the F train
Yeah,
is.
it
Why
is
does it
train.
have to go so
I
slow?
don't know.
Is there a reason?
It just like kind of sputters along.
Yeah, well, because it goes outdoors and into,
yeah.
it was always like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I mean, Park Slope now is just. When I go to Park Slope now, I used to live there, but it angers me now. Now I
Yeah.
just get angry.
But people, it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean,
We actually post
But
Yeah.
it's just they have great marketing because all these hippies that usually they want to live in Brooklyn because of proximity to the city, but it's like we can get from Bay Ridge,
I can't believe you just called them hippies.
I'm
liberals.
shocked too.
Yeah, hippies.
I'm in
Liberals?
shock too.
Yeah, I was
They're
just.
not even like Park Slope is post all that.
Yuppies,
that was
I
post
should say.
opening.
Yuppies.
It's post yuppies.
Yeah, it's-
Park Slope is European.
all right, fucking cucks.
My brothers. No, I'm saying my brother.
I like
Half
how
the kids in my
post yuppie is European. I like that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's top level. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's my brother said that half the kids in the class they're from France. They moved back after a year. They stay like all his daughter's friends.
Right.
In like 6th grade, or I mean, with 7, 8-year-old kids, 1st grade, whatever it is. Very advanced 6. And they're all from like different countries.
Yeah.
Spain, France.
Yeah.
Hey, what are we losing you?
No, I
Yeah.
was just reading about the train.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Guys,
like,
rude.
I mean, the guy is like.
No, I was just reading. I
He's
was
way
listening.
too comfortable with you.
I was just listening.
Well, I'm in the middle of trying to describe my brother's poor kid.
Yeah.
Trying to go to school. Her friends leave after a year.
And-
Yeah.
This bitch is reading Wikipedia.
I mean, he's reading it off a
I'm
big
looking
screen.
at ass on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Park Slope.
I'm glad the R train is the only train that sucks worse than the F.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
The
no,
R
'cause
train's the worst.
The worst.
that's the worst.
That's the worst.
But
We live in Bay Ridge
driving-
now. They call it the rarer than never. The R in the end, the rarer than never.
Yeah, because driving though from Bay Ridge to New York City, I can get to Bay Ridge to downtown Manhattan quicker than I could from Park Slope. Because at Park Slope, you got to just sit in that traffic by the fucking Barclays Center.
Yeah.
My point is like, what's so magical about Park Slope that all these liberals and people that like want to fucking gentrify
park,
everything
maybe.
want to live there? Because it's not close to the city.
Brownstones.
You nailed it. It's magical, right?
Yeah.
Something magical about it. And it's the slope,
Yeah.
the actual
Right.
slope of the streets, and then there's the sun when it sets. It's just something about it, right? You're out in the street at like back, and it was just like you're playing ball or hanging out in the street, and it's just something. It looks magical. There's
Yeah.
something about
Like
it.
what
something about
avenue
it.
you talking? Like Fifth Avenue?
I'm talking about below 8th, anywhere from the park, which is amazing.
Because it goes right down. I mean, it's a slope. It's a steep
It's a
slope.
slope.
It's a steep
So
slope.
once you leave Prospect Park, which is already beautiful, it's better than Central Park. It's the same designer.
yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Then a Revolutionary War battle over there.
Yeah, Battle of Brooklyn, August 1776.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a rock out there that's with a plaque on it. You can
Yeah,
jog
I could
past
talk
it.
for days about Battle of Brooklyn.
It's a rock. It's a rock with a plaque. That's a Brooklyn way to describe
Yeah.
it. Yeah, they got a rock with a plaque.
Yeah, you
know?
got a rock with a
somebody
plaque up
pisses
there.
on it
Come
every day.
Yeah.
But it's just something magical about it. I don't know what it was. It
Yeah.
was just something magical about
Did you ever go to the Carriage House when you were coming? Was that around when you were there? The
it. It
Carriage
was
House?
around, but I
Yeah.
didn't go there. Yeah.
What's the Carriage House?
It was an old Irish bar that just recently left, but it was like one of the last things. The only things left are like Pino's
Yeah.
was there, but that came in the 80s. That might have been
No, Pino's was around the 60s.
70s or 60s?
60s.
Wow.
I'll tell you exactly what it used
It
to
used to be next door, right? One next
Yes.
door? Yeah.
Pino's, we'd go over there, play the jukebox when I was a little kid. And then you had Pino's, you had the laundromat is the only store still standing.
Still there,
On
on the
my
corner, yeah.
On my corner.
Yeah.
And then you had the bars, the Iron Horse, the Stack of Barley, Ryan's, the Coach Inn, Snooki's.
Kid was an alcoholic.
Mooney's,
Yeah.
Camper Down Elm.
Moonies.
Yeah, Mooney's, Camper Down Elm, Minsky's.
Yeah.
The mob bar, James's Pub. That was the bar with only like 6 people in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like guys with like slick back hair. You go in there, just like nobody went in there accidentally. Everybody just knew.
You go in there, they
And-
go, now you can't leave.
Yeah, no, it was really
bombed.
one of those-
Sorry.
And then
Yeah.
and then the gaslight. It was the gaslight to left you. And then so all the way down, there was like bars. There was like 30 bars.
And that was 7th Avenue?
7th Avenue.
Wow.
And that's
Yeah.
only from Second. That's from Second Street.
Wow.
Third Street
Yeah.
had yeah.
But you've been sober for how many years now?
I don't talk about that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
A long time.
Oh, a long time.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, I don't know, because you naming all the bars, but you don't drink.
I know, but this was back when I was like young.
Oh, and you
Those
were,
bars don't exist anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember we went into that bar in Dublin. The YouTube with the cheese sandwiches, and you said to me, you were like, hey, let's go, and I was like, all right, we go, and then you're like, if I would have stayed in there another 5 minutes, I would have been dead in 6 months. That's what you said to me because it was bringing back memories. Because you said it looked like a bar in Park Slope.
It's so true.
Yeah.
The only time, I quit drinking 1983.
Wow.
I was born in '84.
See, there we go.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I bartended when I first got to, I've been in 100 million bars.
Yeah.
The only time I felt that feeling, it was almost genetics, was in that bar with him.
Remember.
In Dublin.
Yeah.
We walked in and I was like, oh, because they had cheese sandwiches, just plain cheese sandwiches. There was a rug.
Yeah.
Like everybody's hanging out. And
Those Irish guys that look like they were like IRA guys.
Yeah.
They were just sitting down with fucking,
like the Park Slope,
yeah. And you two used to go there and drink there,
Yeah.
Bono.
Because there were Irish bars in Park Slope. There was some old Irish bars. There was some Italian bars. And then it was just kid bars. And then it was hippie bars. And then it was like cuisine bars, Guido.
None of those
cuisine.
bars serve brunch like they do now.
No, but Mooney's had a salad bar. I remember that. I used to hit that salad. We used to go eat dinner at Mooney's.
Really?
And there was a salad bar.
But it's all gone now. What is it? It's a
Mooney's is
Lululemon
gone.
store now? What is it now?
Mooney's is like a Italian pizza place now. What
okay.
Mooney's is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm not familiar with that Park Slope at all.
Yeah, well,
I wish I was.
Park Slope, it's fascinating because of what Colin says. It was so diverse around the time I grew up. It must be at some point, like in the 80s or 90s, it must have been like one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the world, and also
That's right.
socioeconomically diverse.
Yes.
Which is like unique.
Yeah.
Because you go one block that way, you were in a totally different socioeconomic bracket. When I was growing up, it was like 6th Avenue was the cutoff line.
Right.
You
can't
went
go
down
below
to 6th.
6th.
You went down to 5th, and you were like,
What are you doing?
I mean,
And
yeah.
now, 5th is the hottest. You go to
Hottest.
Park Slope now, 7th Avenue is deserted.
Yeah.
There's nobody, even on the weekends.
Yeah.
There's nobody on the street.
Fifth Avenue.
7th Avenue is hopping.
Yeah.
And 5th Avenue is hopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be the absolute reverse. Like 7th Avenue was like, and then it changed because when I was a kid, like on my block, we had the McCormicks, the Horns. I mean, it was all retired Irish cops.
Right.
And Garganos, Italians. I mean, everyone was sitting out on lawn chairs.
Yep.
We used to play stoop ball.
Yep, we
And
did.
I think they were like Park Slope was like the first gentrified neighborhood by people who grew up by parents who grew up in New York and like other areas, did something well or were ultra liberal hippies and then moved to Park Slope.
Yeah.
And they were like they were like the first like woke kids.
Right.
Like those parents were like the first like, hey,
That's right.
And then like so they were mixed in with sort of like the
Yeah, but
Irish
didn't you
working
say-
class.
But I was going to say, but what about like the old school cops? Even they were like more liberal woke cops.
Well, I was young but they were kind of like that was towards the end of that, right?
Yes, but even everybody was more, not so much it was just everybody was so mixed in
Right.
that it was like a lot of people, like all the Italian guys, like Carroll Street and all those guys, they were like serious people, a lot of them.
Right.
But they would talk to black and Puerto Rican, like there was sort of a mix, even though it was, things could happen and everybody would know exactly where they stood.
Right.
But it was still people
Right.
conversed or people would play ball together. There was just there was a very fluid line. There was, avenues and houses live next door to each other. So it wasn't a very segregated area.
Yeah, no, it wasn't segregated. You saw each other. You kind of intermingled on basketball courts, on court. People knew each other.
Yeah.
It was
so
very diverse.
You think you're like, smart and well spoken and well read now because of Park Slope, both of you guys.
Yes.
Because in my neighborhood in Ridgewood, Patty Fly Balls, the kid just, we don't think like that.
No, I think Park Slope has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
We were
Yes, of
exposed to
course.
so much at such an early age, and the people who moved to Park Slope. That was in the air. That was the energy. It was intellectuals. It was
Yes.
kind of like
Yes.
progressive thinkers.
And it was
parents.
and it was also just exposure to everybody. Like, look, I went to school. I'll give you the perfect example. I went to school with Lawrence Fishburne,
Yep.
and he probably went to school with Foxy Brown.
Yeah,
Did you?
I don't know.
She's from Park Slope.
She's a lot younger than
No,
me.
but
though.
he went to an uppity prep school. He went to school with Liv Tyler.
I did.
Liv Tyler?
I did.
Where'd
York
you go,
Prep.
St. Anne's?
No, York Prep.
See, I know
in a
St.
minute.
Anne's.
But I went to PS 321 and 51.
I went to 321 too.
Yeah.
And
Whoa.
51 was a rough
couple
school.
of celebs from 321.
Yeah.
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 And
How
and
old-
Foxy
Fishburne went there
you
too?
know Foxy was that?
How old
Fishburne
is-
went to 321?
Yeah. Wow. Went to
How old is
88
Foxy
too?
Brown? Can we look it up? I think she's younger than me.
You all right? I'll name somebody else you went to school with. You didn't even realize.
Who?
If Foxy Brown.
Pumpkinhead.
Ellen Cleghorn.
Who's that?
She's from Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
Years ago. Oh, here's Foxy Brown.
How old is
How
she?
old is Foxy?
Yeah, she's younger than me, but
Foxy Brown, when I was a kid, she had a music video where if you...
she's from Park Slope?
Yeah, no,
She
there
went
was
to
like-
IS 88.
You could see her
Wow.
nipples in one of the music videos to jerk off to it. I think she's hot.
Yeah,
Swear to
everyone-
God. Yeah.
Everyone in Park Slope went to I-88 or 321?
I went to 88
I-
and 320. Yeah.
She's
Oh, you
a
went to
Park Slope
both?
Girl.
Yeah.
She's like
Or I
blind
mean, I-88
now.
or
I think she went
51,
blind.
right? It was 88 or 51.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. I think she truly went blind now or deaf.
What?
Something happened to her. That's why you don't hear from her now. I think she went blind. Truly.
I think Biggie lived in Park
I
Slope
thought
for a
the
little
person
while.
that jerks off goes blind, not the person you
Yeah,
jerk
that's
off
what
to.
I know. That's what my mother said because the nuns are watching.
Wow.
Same thing if you sneeze and an angel's crossing, you go
Biggie-
blind.
I think Biggie lived in Park Slope for a little while. Look
I thought
that
he lived
up.
on St. James.
I would
Is
be
that Park
surprised.
Slope?
I think he lived
St.
in...
John's.
He might
St.
have...
John. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I think he might have... Like, he
But St. John's goes across, so it could also be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of times you get fooled.
Yeah, you
if
do.
don't know better.
Yeah, if you don't know better, you end up in a neighborhood you're not supposed to be in on St. John's.
Street. You're not
Yeah.
on President Street.
Oh, Medgar Evers College is on President Street.
He's from
That's
Clinton
right.
Hill.
That's not the Park Slope part.
He's from Clinton Hill?
Yeah, Clinton Hill. It was the Park Slope after Park Slope.
Yeah.
So was Fort Greene. They all came. They all
Yeah.
came.
He was close.
Everything's Park Slope. We just set the trend.
Yeah.
And so Lawrence Fishburne, I knew him since we were little kids.
You still know
Wow.
him? You still
And
keep in contact?
Yeah, well, if I see him, we're like, we talk about the old days. But yeah, I mean, we know all this. We grew up with all the same people. We know each
Yeah.
other.
Do you remember when Park Slope was just like 9th Street to Union and like 6th to the
Yeah.
park? And now it's like you could be in
The real
Afghanistan.
estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be in Afghanistan. They're like, this is the South Slope.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
This is the Northwest Slope.
Yeah, because, and you know what I always wanted to ask you, because you did SNL, and not that it's like, I think it's like every young comedian's dream, you do SNL. I want to know, because sometimes I fantasize about what a call would be like for my agent telling me I got SNL, and then I listen to one episode of my podcast, and I realize it's never going to happen. I'm never, ever going to be able to do SNL because of shit I said. But do you remember where you were when they called you and were like, hey, you got SNL?
Yeah, but I was old. It was a different thing. I came there as a writer.
Right.
So, and I'd already been on like MTV, and I'd already been a writer on on Living Color. So being on SNL as a writer, I was still happy to come back to New York, and it was a dream. But it wasn't like I was like this bright-eyed kid, like I'm gonna do SNL. You know what I mean? So
it was kind of like, you just,
no,
they
I was
told you and
I was excited. It was
Right.
still SNL, and as a writer, there was prestige.
But how did it work? Because you were a writer, and then did you have to like audition to do Weekend
No,
Update?
it
They
was
just
a
were like, hey,
series
we're
of
going to move
things.
you up. You're going to do Weekend
Yeah,
Update.
it was a series of inside things where I just ended
Yeah.
up.
Now today the news with Che, because he fucking called Bruce Jenner a fella. They
What?
want to fire him.
He called him a what?
A fella.
See, now that to me is really
They say they
offensive.
call him for Che's head.
him
Wild.
a
We live in a wild time. You could
You
just
call
say
him
and do
a
whatever.
fella,
You
and people are really upset.
Yeah,
swear
he
to God,
said-
no, it's all over the news. It's like they want this kid fired.
By the way, fella is an Arab, right? Like fella Dean. Isn't it like Arab?
yeah, well,
It means something in Arabic.
if you say so, it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is too. I mean, Giannis and I. Well,
Fella.
Giannis wrote an article and put it on Instagram and quoted that it was from the New Yorker, and we're getting calls
I
left
wrote
and
it,
right.
yeah.
From big people
Because I
saying,
said, you know what? I'm going to start lying a
Oh,
little
it's
bit
not
more.
from the New Yorker?
No.
"No,
I
he
wrote
wrote
it.
it from his bathtub."
I wrote it in my underwear.
Do you understand? I read that and I was going, I'm glad to see these guys
Yeah,
getting something in New York.
Because we just live
Yeah.
in a fucking world where it's all smoke and mirrors. You say and do whatever you want.
and
Reality is
just
just
the
a
fact that the
suggestion.
New Yorker, they go, oh, you know how they get.
Yeah.
New Yorker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my own agent was like, "How'd you swing that?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, connections."
Yeah, we got
He
some.
took credit for it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
we got some big reviews coming from the New York Times too.
yeah. We got some big reviews
Yeah.
coming, and we
Well,
got
you
some
guys
famous.
should, yeah.
Yeah, some famous comedians are going to quote our work too coming up.
First of all, oh no.
Yeah. Oh, well, you'll see. Keep watching our Instagram.
I can't believe you guys aren't interested in fella, where it comes from.
I'm
I was
fella.
looking up on my phone, and then you guys.
Fella.
Sorry.
Is
I don't know
that-
where it comes from, but I know that it's got Michael Che in hot water, and that's what a wild time we
This
live
is Saturday. This is Saturday Night Live.
It is
Yeah.
a peasant
Now,
or agricultural laborer in an Arab country.
Oh,
in. Wow, there you go. Yeah, Colin was right. CQ.
Colin.
But here's what I'm saying. First of all, can you imagine? Here at Saturday Night Live. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of their news stories are supposed to be humor based. So if somebody calls somebody a fella, he's kind of trying to have fun and be humorous. Am I wrong?
No,
No,
you're
not wrong.
What is going on?
You tell us, like, what is going? Is people losing their minds? What is going on?
Is everything just too easy now? So is the
I mean,
world too
what
boring?
is going
where-
on? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
In
kind
our
of-
country?
it's starting to feel like weird. Like, we're not sharing the same reality anymore.
No, it's ridiculous. And like I said, if the people that were bringing this down were these were these brilliant comic minds, I'd go, you know what? These people know what they're doing. It's the unfunniest people on the planet that are leading the charge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the people. If you're so, I always say it's like no one ever says, "Yeah, my friend is activist funny."
Yeah.
Activists by nature, they're serious people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they should be weighing in on serious matters, not weighing in on what passes for humor. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I agree.
That's contradictory to their very nature.
Whose fucking phone went off right in the middle of that great speech?
Ah.
Jesus Christ.
He raises his hand proudly.
Yeah.
That's almost the best when I was telling some sob story and Chris was looking at Wikipedia.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
These are the
he's
moments we're
yelling
going to
at that. You know how
remember.
many times his phone is just on ring where I'm fucking crushing it in here and you just hear bing,
I don't wanna-
shit ringtone?
I don't want to get in the middle of the odd couple here.
Yeah.
Hey, where's Bay Ridge Boy? Oh my God.
What do we got?
Just hit it.
What do we got?
Bay Ridge Boys, the new odd couple. You take the Bay Ridge Boys characters, only now you have them be like a clash of odd couple. They have to live together for whatever reason.
Yes.
And they have, these micro things that only the Bay Ridge Boys
Yeah.
can get into
All right.
conflict with.
So that's a great idea. We're going to talk to Andrew Schultz and see if we can get it on YouTube. Because the
I'll be
networks doesn't matter.
I'll be the landlord.
Yeah, what if you're the landlord? What if I'm like a real progressive liberal from Park Slope and he's like ultra right wing, like city worker from
No,
Ridgewood?
I like it better if you guys are the Bay Ridge Boys, though.
But if we're living in Bay Ridge, an apartment in Bay Ridge, and that's
Yeah,
the odd
but-
couple, I'm going like, I'm voting for Elizabeth Warren. He's like, you fucking FF.
Yeah, and
No.
my job, I'm actually a firefighter, a cop, and a garbage man all at the same time.
Yeah, and your dog, your pet is also a firefighter.
But I rearrange my schedule. I always watch the Yankees.
Yeah.
I
Are you
like
a
this
Mets
idea.
fan or a Yankees?
Mets.
Oh, how did that happen?
Why? I grew up in Brooklyn at the time. You had to be a Mets fan.
I guess you just chose. But all my friends were Yankee fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like my whole block was Mets fans.
Yeah.
But it's the
Brooklyn-
same with the Knicks, But now I want to be a Nets fan.
Be a Nets
Yeah,
fan.
I'm trying to be a Nets fan.
Nets
gonna
are
be
better
easy
product
the
than
next
I'm
couple
going to
of
Knicks game tonight.
You are?
Knicks Bulls. That's why I got my
You
jacket.
got a Knicks jacket.
You got a Knicks shirt on.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Yeah.
The Knicks are terrible. I feel like the Knicks. It's haunted. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Madison Square Garden for the Knicks is haunted.
Yeah, it's just it never works
Because
out
in
for us.
1973, 69 was this big year, so we all listened to the game, and it was like this amazing.
What year were
game.
you born?
59.
Okay.
So 69 was 10. But I still remember to listen to the game on the radio. It's like you heard it. It's like you were there live. Marv Albert, when there was no TV, Marv Albert was the greatest announcer of all time.
Right.
The greatest.
Yeah.
He spoke really fast and really loud, so he'd give you every play. He'd be saying, he's dribbling, blah, blah, and you'd
Yeah.
be listening, really. And then 73, they won again, but, and then it just, ever since then, there's been this weird energy in the Garden. Because it's embarrassing to have this many bad teams like the Jets and the Mets and the Giants when you're the biggest city with the most money in history.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
Tulsa. We
Yeah.
have records for the past 30 years.
I know.
Like we live in Tulsa.
Yeah.
I was at the Garden last night. I was watching the Rangers game with my boy Patty Fly Balls, and we were sitting up high, and one of the lights at the top of the arena, it didn't affect the rink, so whatever, but one of the lights was just out. I'm like, it's fucking Madison Square Garden. One of the lights are out? What the
James-
fuck?
Yeah, it's just he doesn't care.
Yeah,
He's like
yeah,
this-
yeah.
He was handed the team, and he doesn't care. But then
Yeah.
how come the Rangers are good?
They're not good this year. They
They've
suck
been
this
good.
year.
They've
That's
had,
a good point.
Yeah.
Your Rangers and Yankees throw my whole theory off.
Well, the reason why I know the exact reason why the Rangers are good as far as James Dolan, because James Dolan has no jurisdiction and does not interfere at all with Rangers personnel. He only interferes with the Knicks.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's the reason is
it
right
is
there,
him.
clear as day.
Why is that? Do you think because
He doesn't
short?
because I think he doesn't understand or know anything about hockey, and it's Rangers are such like a moneymaker, and I believe.
But he
because
knows so much about basketball. That's like the old joke.
No,
He's proving he doesn't know anything.
I know. Oh, dude, one of the worst things ever is I remember when I had the show on IFC. It was called Benders, fucking one and done, and one season and out. And he made the cast of Benders, and along with a lot of other people. I was sitting in between. This is true. To my left, Harvey Weinstein. To my right, Les Moonves. And that's true, I swear to God. And he took us to the cutting room.
You dreamed you were skiing.
Yeah,
That
and he
old
made
joke?
us fucking 2.5 hour performance for his band. We had to go watch him and his son singing this band, and it's brutal.
Oh,
It's
JD
fucking
and the
brutal.
Straight Shots.
And we just had no chance. We had no choice. Just had to do it, or else the show was going to get taken off the air, which it did anyway. But
Wow.
Wow.
yeah, it was brutal.
He's got no motivation to change the Knicks because
No,
they're sold
why?
out every night. So
Yeah,
what does
exactly.
he care?
Wow.
They're sold out every night, no matter what you do. It's the only team that's like hasn't made the playoffs once or twice that's sold out no matter what.
Well, if you saw the Knicks, how horrible they were last year, they still made I think $20 million more than the Raptors did, and they won the championship.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of their gear, the ticket prices. Don't forget, a Raptors seat doesn't cost what a Knicks seat costs.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't.
Right.
So it's like all that shit, the concessions, they still make more money. So yeah, when you talk to a guy like James Dolan, he's like, why change?
Yeah. Because it's New York. So no
just
matter
New York.
what, like it's going to be sold out. It's
New
fun.
York sells tickets, babe.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, we grew up at a time where people wanted to get out of the city.
Right.
Do you remember when people wanted to get out?
Oh my God, they gave away those houses in Park Slope.
They gave. I mean, my father bought the house that I grew up in from a family named the Murphys. They had a coal. I think it was heated by coal. They had like a coal. He had to redo the whole thing for $28,000.
Yeah.
That's how much he bought it from.
Now it's worth $4.5 million.
Now it's something. It's expensive.
The building on the corner. I said this in my book. I think the building on my corner, dirt floors.
Wow.
Legit dirt floors.
Legit dirt floors.
We used to tell the kids, go home and water your floor.
Yeah.
Just go home and rake the floor.
Yeah, shit like that.
But they had dirt floors.
Yeah.
Do you
We
own the
couldn't
house
believe
that you grew up in?
No, we got rid of it in the 80s like idiots.
Right.
Oh,
But-
people got that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that.
we bought in. I bought in 5th Street in 1996. I think.
Oh, so you're still good.
It's still okay,
Yeah.
but I mean, but it's
Oh, so you own a place in Park
well, the
Slope,
family owns it.
then. But still, it's a nice investment.
Oh, yes.
96, it wasn't going
well, it's
for what
always
it
a
would go
place
now.
to live anyway.
Yeah.
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 I bought in Bay Ridge. What do you think of that?
I think it's a great idea. Bay Ridge
Thank you.
is the neighborhood.
He moved to North Salem now.
I'm
What?
moving to North. I'm
You
moving to
did?
Westchester.
He bought in North Salem.
like North
Same
Salem.
block as
Yeah.
Paul Verzi
It's
and
like
Bobby
horse
Kelly.
country. I think Bobby's looking to move there too.
Yeah.
The same block as Paul Verzi.
Same block as Paul Verzi, which just ended up being that way. Like I was trying.
Really? You
Yeah.
won't even try it?
Wasn't trying. We were looking, and then it was a place. I mean, I know he was there, but it was like the people who were selling needed somebody who didn't need to move because they needed to buy a place before they could move out.
Right.
And we're not in a rush, and it just kind of like
That's
because
great.
everything else was going too quick and. Yeah.
Well, in places like Bay Ridge, I remember the apartment that I bought now, like 30 people had looked at it, right? And it's still like that old school New York thing where I come in and he's like looking around and he's looking at me. He goes, "What's your last name?" And I was like, "Distefano." And he was like, "How much can you give right now?" Like, it was just like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, I was like,
Was
hey.
he Italian? Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Oh,
like,
they
and
really
I was
stick
like, and he
together.
doesn't say anything,
They
but it's
do.
like, you know what it is.
You know what? Bay Ridge
racism.
feels a little like Park Slope in the 80s and 90s.
I believe it,
And
yeah.
like it's still that's the only neighborhood that still has that feel.
Like, I'll tell you what, there's a cafe on the corner of 3rd Avenue and 91st Street in Bay Ridge that when Trump won, they gave out free black and white cookies for the whole day. It's one of those neighborhoods. That's
Now-
the only place in Brooklyn that probably did that. But-
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they have. Well, not the only one. There's one or two places in Marine Park.
Yeah, Marine Park.
But what about the? They have the best bakeries in.
Oh, my
in
God,
Bay
the best
Ridge.
Italian food ever.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's fucking crazy.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We eat pizza. I mean, I eat pizza.
Elegante.
Elegante is good.
Yeah.
It's very
Now
underrated.
it's about Ninos and No-Nos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
You don't
ones-
even know.
No, I don't. I only know Elegante's been there forever.
Yeah.
Because my cousins, my whole family's from Bay Ridge.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
So-
were Park Slope.
No, I mean I grew up in Park Slope, but my mother and father grew up in Bay Ridge and Sunset Park, and they moved out of Sunset Park when that got bad. But Bay Ridge, my mother lived on 82nd and 5th, right above the candy store on 82nd and 5th. So we spent all our childhoods going on 4th Avenue, going back and forth to Bay Ridge. So
Yeah.
I know all the old Bay Ridge places.
Wow.
Well, now Bay Ridge is like a destination. Like if you live on Staten Island, Bay Ridge is like going to the city.
That's like going out in the city. If
Yeah.
you're from Staten Island, going to a restaurant on a Friday night with your family,
Yeah.
that's a
Really?
real Staten Island thing to do. Go out in Bay Ridge.
Now, do you remember? You may be too young, but on 86th Street, it used to be like all Italian kids from Staten Island, Jersey, everyone would go and cruise 86th Street.
I remember that. Yeah, I
and it
remember
was like
that.
this
Yeah.
crazy
like what? Like
That was just like they would drive. That was just like it was.
that was a night out. You
Friday
just drive
night.
in the car.
They'd
Yeah.
drive and blast music and pick each other up and just drive up and down 86th Street. Just everybody like ripped and just girls wearing like tightest clothes and the guys wearing the tightest clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like in the 80s. It was such a New York thing.
Yeah.
That's and like Saturday Night Fever type stuff.
Yes.
Yes. It was Italian over there. It was very
Real
Italian.
Very
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah.
This is a very inside New York podcast, but let's be honest. It's a niche market right now in the podcast world. So if you're not from New York, you don't care about this, fuck you.
Who else gets reviewed from the New Yorker? What's
Yeah.
more New York than that?
Exactly.
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 And it's also where Colin Quinn grew up, Park
Yeah.
Slope.
Yeah.
When you got on SNL, you must have been a fucking star in the Slope. You must have walked into Pino's and they were like slices on us. And
No.
they didn't hit on your mom that day. Because they would just flirt with your mom in front of you.
Wow.
If your sister, your mom, your girlfriend, the kids that used to work at Pino's, they would just flirt with in front of you, like the Italian guys. Same with Smileys.
Well, it's funny because the guy across the street from me growing up was a mob guy, and when my mother would walk out, "Hey, Red, how about a steak dinner?" He would always ask her out for a steak dinner because my parents were divorced, and his wife Mary would be sitting right there like this, fuming. And he asked my mother that every day for like probably months or years. "Hey, Red, how about a steak dinner?" He wanted to take her for a steak dinner.
Yeah, he wanted to
Red.
make her. He wanted to have a gumar. He was
Yeah,
trying to
right
make
across the
Gumar.
street. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
funny.
but Pino's, when I was a kid, we saw Pino's one time. This is how crazy they were. They were Italians from the other side. And the mob guys came in to collect because in those days, the mob collected off everyone on 7th Avenue,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
And then the brother, one of Pino's brothers was a hothead. Because Pino was like the leader, but he had these three brothers who were bah, just yelling at the mob guy. Bah, 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 like yelling in Italian. He throws the money down. And the mob guy just takes it, looks at him. I was like, even his little kids were like, "This guy's got balls."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I'll fucking pay." But
Yeah.
who knows what he's saying? Like,
Yeah.
you guys don't do
Yeah.
your job, you know.
Yeah, I remember because I went to St. Joseph's College in downtown Brooklyn, and we used to hang out in Bay Ridge. That's where everyone used to go. And we were
13 Mall America.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were outside Kettle Black, which is on 3rd Avenue and 89th Street, right?
Yeah.
Kettle Black. You remember, you know that bar.
So that's been there for a while.
So Kettle Black,
yeah.
and it was like these mafia guys that were like, I guess they own maybe the place next door, and we're in Kettle Black, we're outside, and there's a meter maid walking around giving tickets. And he's fucking writing the ticket, and the Italian guys come out, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't give us a ticket." And you know, negotiate with him, and then they fucking take his ticket book, throw it across the street, and they proceed to try to grab him and stuff him inside a mailbox.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's like a Scorsese movie.
just
Yeah.
mafia
Yeah.
shit, you know?
Well, back then, everyone was being extorted. If you had a cash business, you were being extorted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like you can't get away with anything. The only reason things are safer now is because nobody can get away with it anymore.
Because of cameras, yeah.
Cameras and like fingerprints and forensics. And,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to get caught for whatever you do.
Right.
But a lot of people say that in the days of corruption, you could get things done, and now no one can get anything because now it's not corrupt, so it's all red tape. So nothing gets accomplished.
That's a good point.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like in the old days, you'd get. I was in Mexico a couple of years ago,
Right.
and we're driving back from the airport. And I go to the drive. I go, did the cops and police pull you over? You have to pay them off. And he goes, "No, they don't take it anymore. You can't deal with anybody. Like you can't." He was basically complaining, like, "I can't do what I need to do."
Yeah, I can't
In the
illegal.
old days, you pay them a few dollars, and you get to do what you need to do.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, he's like, you can't tip anybody off.
You got to admit, like, yeah, I mean,
If Mexico's not corrupt, then what's the hope for the rest of the world?
yeah.
I know. I got to go to my friend's wedding. I was telling you before. I got to go to my friend's wedding. Invited me to the wedding, be in the bridal party. It's in Mexico. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to Mexico. But they're saying I'm an asshole. I got to go.
Where is it?
I don't fucking know.
You said Cancun.
Cancun?
Cancun.
That's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
yeah. You don't got to worry about that. Cancun.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but what about the
Getting
drives
bad?
to the airports?
It's fine from Cancun.
Yeah, you're fine.
It's Central and the West Coast at the problem.
Somebody got gunned down in Cancun weeks ago.
Yeah, somebody got gunned down in the street here. Somebody got kicked in the subway. We just watched it on video.
yeah, I mean, things happen. You're going to
Yeah.
be fine.
Were you there? Were you in Park Slope on December 16th, 1960 when a United Airlines plane collided?
No,
And
but that
French-
was
That's a famous Park Slope story, though.
the
Yeah,
most
what's the story?
famous.
Everyone knows
What's the
it.
story from your guys' point of view, or what you heard?
Well, we heard that a plane. Everybody died on the plane. One kid lived
Yeah.
and then died the next day.
Yeah.
that
Really?
was the sad
And do you know
part.
exactly where it went down? You know the spot
Yeah,
it happened.
yeah.
You guys
Sterling
remember?
and
Sterling
seventh.
Place.
Seventh?
Sterling in 7th, yeah.
So they collided midair.
Midair.
Jesus
and
Christ.
I think one fell in Staten Island and then one fell on Park Slope.
And I'll tell you who used to live there. Kitty Genovese, the famous story in Queens. Remember the girl that got killed?
That happened in my neighborhood. She got
That
killed in
happened-
my neighborhood, but she grew up
She
there.
grew up right down the block from that plane crash.
Yeah.
Who's
That-
this?
Kitty Genovese. It's the girl who kept crying for help and nobody and every other
Oh,
neighbor thought that the
shit.
other ones were
Really?
doing it. That happened right outside Danny's Pizzeria, right in Queens. And we know exactly
Right.
where she was murdered.
And she grew up in Park Slope?
she was
grew up in
born in
Park
Park
Slope.
Slope, according to CQ.
Yeah.
Born in the Bible is CQ.
She grew up in Park Slope. I'll swear by it.
You know who
She
grew
might
up-
have grown up on Sterling Place.
Wow. Do you know who? I remember when we were kids. Kelly McGillis, is that her name? She lived in.
My friend went out with her.
Yeah, she lived in Park Slope. Me and my friends, we were little. We would always just stay by her house trying
Who's
to.
Kelly McGillis?
She was in Top Gun, the actress.
I don't know.
Top Gun, Witness.
Google Kelly McGillis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wait outside where?
We would she was on, it's Garfield, right? It was Garfield, yeah. Was that what we thought it was on Garfield?
I think it was Garfield.
Yeah.
But
And this lady grew up in Park Slope.
No.
Oh, shit, she actually had something horrible happen there.
yes. Not
yeah.
there. Not in Park Slope.
What
It
happened?
wasn't in Park Slope.
It
You
was,
sure?
it was Columbia University.
Oh, yeah.
Something
I didn't know that
horrible
was a Park
happened.
Slope girl.
Yeah, well,
No.
she was, this is what, after she was in the movie, she moved to Park Slope.
No, she moved.
Really?
She moved. She moved there, and then she was in the movie. Yeah, then she moved out after that horrible thing happened.
Right.
What
And then-
happened?
She got, she was assaulted in her home, like a home invasion.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like
She's
horrible.
talked about it on TV and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
She was
horrible.
like raped. It was bad.
It was bad.
Fucking
But
brutal.
that was up by Columbia.
Yeah.
And then she moved to Park Slope actually after that.
Well, so the assault didn't happen in Park Slope.
No.
Columbia.
And then
Shit.
I used to work at the liquor store, Sean's Liquors. I sold her a couple of bottles of wine back in the day.
Wow.
I remember because she was so beautiful. Like, I given her the bottle of liquor. I don't know why she didn't give a second glance to a liquor store clerk. But apparently,
Sean's Liquor's
She had
not there
bigger-
anymore either.
she had big. No, I think it's still there.
Is it?
It's got to be there. Sean's Liquors and the laundromat. There's
Where-
probably like 5 places. that
Where
are still
was
there.
Sean's Liquor? Where is it?
Between Carroll and Garfield on 7th. Right across the street from Snooki's and the Coach and all those places.
All these places sound made up.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything you
Yeah.
said.
It all sounds like
There's
from a movie
Smileys
set.
and brownies and
Yeah.
That is funny. I had pizza at Smiley's, then we went over to Snooki's.
Yep. Pinos.
Valentina, I have
Peanuts.
to pee so bad. Can I? It's like it actually hurts.
You just peed before.
I know,
the
but I've been
game.
drinking so much water and I'm kind of still hungover, so it's just my body's not working.
You got to hold it. We got Colin Quinn
I know,
here.
but
Probably got a prostate. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
go. Who
all right,
cares?
fine. You said I can
yeah,
go.
you could go.
Me and Yannis will talk.
Yeah, you
I have to. Let's be honest. I probably still have chlamydia.
yeah, you got a little bit of a drip.
When
That
did he
place is
first get
still
rid of
open,
chlamydia?
John.
It's a reoccurring thing with him.
Oh, I didn't know it
Yeah,
could reoccur.
he's had a few bouts. He's had a few bouts of the chlamydia. They know him at the drugstore. He walks in, he just nods, and they just hand him the antibiotic. It's like Chris. The drugstore is like his Cheers. They walk in, it's like the place where everyone knows his name. I mean, the kid's had chlamydia like 7 times.
No.
Yeah, he's got it a few times. Yeah, he's a wild kid. I'm sure you know.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
But I think that if you guys did the Bay Ridge Boys as the odd couple,
Yeah.
I think he'd have to be this wild kid,
Yeah.
and you're trying to settle down,
Yeah.
and
Ah, that's what it would be. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you could always have the progressive neighbors, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but it just have to be you guys, and you're sharing, the house,
Yeah.
'cause or you're sharing the porch,
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, it's a good thing you're moving out. You see that guy smashing pumpkins
I did see that in Bay Ridge.
in Bay Ridge on
Yeah.
82nd Street?
And he was wearing a fedora.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you get that? That was like daily news, right?
No, that was all over the internet for 6 hours
Ah,
in New York.
because it was, yeah, I saw it in like the Bay Ridge like Gazette or
Home
whatever.
Reporter and Sunset News.
yeah.
The Bay Ridge had the Spectator and the Home Reporter, Sunset News.
Yeah. Do you remember when it was all local news? Do
Yes.
you remember when like you had no idea what was going, unless it was like a massive, like the news was just like, it was like Bernard Getz for like a year.
Yes.
It was like Robert Chambers, who actually was York Prep. That's a school I went to.
Oh.
Remember he murdered the Central Park?
Look.
It's Mad Dog Mattern doing it. Dude, is that Mad Dog?
I know, bro. I said that when I first saw it. I was like, that looks like James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
bam.
But I like how the guy is not backing down. He just put a camera down there and then got interviewed. He was like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he wants to smash any more pumpkins now. He's out there with a baseball bat.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Old school.
Old school.
It's special. But he doesn't know the guy, huh?
No. The guy was just smashing pumpkins,
Wow.
specifically his house.
You want to know interesting fact?
Yes.
HHFOD?
Yes.
The only other St. Patty's Day parade that happens in New York happens in Park Slope.
Really?
Well,
Unless I'm wrong.
you're wrong.
Uh-oh.
But
Here we go.
there's one I think there's one in Queens too.
Okay.
But the St. Patrick's Day parade in Park Slope, you're right. It's the biggest. Maybe is there one in Queens?
Does it still go on?
Can we look
That parade?
I remember it like my whole life because it would come down Prospect Park West, and I grew up between 8th and the Park, and we'd all run up and watch it. The bagpipe, something about bagpipes makes you just want to kill English people.
It's just what it is.
You feel it in your bone. Like
Yeah.
something about it shakes your bones. It's like,
Well, I'll tell you
it's
something else.
inspiring.
The first years of that parade, I don't know what year it was, like 78, 80, 79. I was a kid, I was a teenager already. But the Park Slope Parade, the St. Patrick's Day Parade, they had, is that the only one or no?
Yeah, it says it's in Park Slope, and then the next day it's in Bay Ridge. That's what it's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, because Bay Ridge has one on
And
3rd
we got the
Avenue.
Norwegian Day Parade, too.
Yeah.
But the first couple of years, like a couple of years, whenever it started, the early 80s, late 70s, where they would have in full balaclavas, IRA guys,
Wow.
fully covered. And you'd see a whole, and the first couple of years, we were like, oh, shit. And there'd be like 6, 8 IRA guys walking out, fully
Wow.
covered masks and stuff, because then when pictures taken out.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is
In
crazy.
Park Slope, right on 7th Avenue.
Yeah.
The IRA
Wow.
guys.
Yeah,
That's
there
how hardcore the Irish thing used to be.
Yeah, that thing.
And nobody would complain,
Right. Yeah, that used to be they're not totally over it though, right? It's like they kind of just deal with each other now.
It's been coming back. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been coming back.
What is the Irish beef?
I mean, yeah, it's like one's Protestant, one's Catholic. That's all it is.
Well,
it's weird. It's the weirdest thing.
I
to
mean,
me.
still to this, when we were in Ireland,
Yeah.
I remember we were talking to some of the Irish people, and there was one comic that told me, I don't know if you were with us or you might have been on stage, but you were on stage because we were watching you, because that's how we started talking about this. Because you were talking about, he was like, for an Irish American, he knows what to say and what not to say. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, we're in Dublin right now. He said, but if you were in Belfast and he was talking on stage about being Catholic or anything about Catholicism, he may still have a big problem.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And he said, if he was talking about Protestants here, he still may have a big problem.
that
was 2 years ago.
Fucking crazy.
And I'm like, wow. Because it doesn't get covered in the news, but he's like, listen, it's not like, he said, it's just, he said, guys, he said, the thing is this, the comedian explained to me this way. He said, you got to understand, there's still guys alive right now that killed people for being one of that other religions, and you don't just let that go. He said, the younger kids, we don't have a problem with it. He said, but you'll still run into a 70-year-old guy who, if he sees a Catholic tattoo and he's Protestant, may be like, I'll cut your fucking arm off.
so it's almost gone.
It's almost gone, but he said there's still people alive. I mean, that massacres happened in the 80s.
I remember. How did it get like that? How do you get to the point where you're going like, you ate a wafer this morning? You fucking had a wafer?
Fucking
Did you
religion,
just come
man.
from fucking mass? And
Because it was England. Because they were the colonialists. It was the British. So the Protestants want to be Britain. Like they call it Northern Ireland, but Irish
why they're
people
part of
call
the
it
UK.
the north of Ireland.
right.
Got it.
So it's like those. So when they broke up, they still said, "No, fuck you. We're keeping these 6 colonies because we have a lot of British people here." When Ireland freed in like 1921. So then ever since that, and like the Irish Catholics, they give them the shitty jobs on the docks, and so the Protestants did better.
Right.
So ever since then, it's been, and then what really the whole IRA thing was gone almost, and then 1969, the Catholics were having like protest marches, and the Protestants burned down, like just attacked them, like all these Protestant groups, just the Ulster Defense Regiment, and they burnt down. So that's why, and the IRA wasn't even around, so they called them the I ran away.
Right.
Then the IRA rebuilt and came in. So the British soldiers came in 1969 to protect the Catholics. But then, like anything else, once you're in somebody's neighborhood, it just gets to be.
That was this Easter Sunday massacre, right? Is that
No, that was in
part?
72. That was in Derry,
Okay.
the other
Sunday,
Okay.
Bloody Sunday.
Sunday,
right?
Bloody Sunday,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah.
That was
Okay.
72, yeah.
Yeah,
that
me
was the
too.
same, right around there.
I used to. My ex-girlfriend, she's from Fort Edward, New York. Like it's like a small village upstate New York, all Irish up there. Like her father had like 10 brothers, and they
By
drank.
Rochester or something?
It's by Glens Falls, like closer to Albany.
Fort Edward's an Irish name.
Yeah, well, it's just all Irish kids. It's like 300 people live in Fort Edward, and then you got like, but it's all.
It's
her
like a
family-
breezy point.
It's like tiny. Yeah, it's like a little village up there, and like her father had like 10 brothers. They were Irish, and we would get hammered. He was the greatest guy, and he would just start playing IRA fight songs, and those things they get you fired up.
Yes.
Those, if you ever hear like an actual IRA, and that's what happens at the bars, right? Like they would play it back then, and then they'd all get fired up, and the next thing you know, there'd be a "fuck Iraq" chant. That's what happens.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's
I
like
like it.
those songs, like they get under you, like you wanna fight.
Yeah.
Irish are fight. I know they're called. The stereotype is the fighting Irish,
I feel
But
like
Irish kids like to fight and they don't go down.
Yeah. They have
Do you think
hard
Notre
heads.
Dame in our lifetime is going to have to change their name from the Fighting Irish? You think it's happening?
Well, to change that logo, yes. It's very offensive.
You're going to have to change it, right?
Yeah.
What should it be?
What, just a 4-leaf clover? What should it be?
I know,
It's
it's
not
an
the Fighting
attempt.
Irish like
How
that.
accurate was the Brothers McMullen to you? Was that like your? Was that like the Irish by Big Fat Greek Wedding? I knew it was funny when I was thinking it.
Yeah.
By the way,
Did you and
know
your
what
brothers
could-
just put on gloves and go outside
God.
and fucking?
You know what could have been a great movie? Speaking of Greek horror, Nia Vardalos, but it wasn't. But it could have been so good. Was My Life in Ruins? They're traveling through Greece with a tour group, and they go to all these Greek spots. And I was like, they're gonna hit some of the deep points. Of course, they hit none of them.
Right.
But it's one of those movies that should have been. You know what I mean? If
As
you ever
big
do
as-
a movie, you should try to make it like that structure, but then really go into it, what it means. You know?
Right.
Well, one of the funniest things out right now is Cop Show. When you started recently on
Oh,
Instagram,
Jesus.
we fucking laugh our asses off. I'm happy you put it out. The fact that that show never got made on TV just showed you that TV sucks.
Yeah, Mia Vardalos could get
She'll get punched
She'll
through.
get punched through.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a good look.
She's
Is
a
this the
piece.
free episode?
Yeah.
I didn't mean that, Mrs. Pappas.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I said that. Chris said that.
My wife listens to the podcast.
She's hot in that.
Now I'm gonna get fucking yelled at.
Yeah.
But she's a good looking woman. Very nice too. Super.
You know she's a fan of Mr.
Canadian.
Panos, right?
She is. Yeah, she's been nice to me. She's Canadian. They're all kind
Is
of
she a
nice.
fan of HH?
I don't think she'll be a fan of this.
No, this is not. This is not
her cup
woke
of tea.
enough.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if she's woke, but she's.
No, but in Hollywood, if you're an actress, very few are not woke and dope.
I think her mistake was she tried to do the sitcom, like kind of milk it a little too much.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, it was like you can't redo.
I don't
that.
even know this. There was a sitcom.
Yeah,
She
it
tried-
like was 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I think it didn't
Stunk?
do well.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
she had to,
It was okay.
but
Had to take the money.
But she made
and go
enough
for it.
money off that movie, right? That her
I
career
don't
set,
know
or do you
how-
not make that much money in the first go around?
I know Rita Wilson and Tom Hanks made a lot of money off that.
sure.
Yeah.
But did they just buy her story?
I don't. They made the movie for $5 million.
Yeah.
It's the highest grossing comedy of all time. It was
Yeah.
made for $5 million. It made like $500 million or
Yeah.
Wow.
Jazz Palminteri told me the story when Robert De Niro saw Bronx Tale when he was performing it. He bought Bronx Tale. De Niro bought Bronx Tale for like an insanely low price.
Yeah.
Because Chaz had nothing. And
Yeah.
then Bronx Tale became what it became, and he only made a deal on the back end on DVD sales. He said, Chaz makes a lot of money, but he said on Bronx Tale, he was like, people think I made money off that. It's really not. He
Yeah.
said, because you just have to sign
No,
a shit
of
deal when you
course.
have nothing.
No,
De Niro
Chris.
made all the money.
Listen, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I didn't make no money, and De Blasio's a homo.
I went to see you live. I went to see you live at I had front row seats, and it was before you probably even knew like my name or who I was at all.
You just knew your sister-in-law.
Huh? Yeah, I
You just knew
just
your
knew, I just
sister-in-law.
knew his ex-wife. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew your ex-wife. And it was the first one you did. The
Long story short one.
the long story short, it was so fucking good. But I remember I was sitting in the front and
At
like,
Cherry Lane Theater.
yeah, I was hoping. I was like, he knows who I think he knows who I am. I think he's looking at me. But you probably won't. It was fucking so good. It was when it was like on Broadway or like off. It
Yeah,
was like that
at
one
the
was
Helen
on
Hayes,
Broadway.
yeah.
I went and saw it there live, and then I
Yeah.
saw it again when it was was it on HBO after that?
Yeah.
HBO bought it.
Yeah.
But that was the first of this new thing that you started. You like
Yeah.
found that you were like, this is
Like
you were
you
able
guys,
to take
I
it.
love- What you guys are doing, it's the same thing. History, people act like we're talking history. We're talking about today, it's history. It's the same thing.
Right.
Right.
Well, but that's always been Colin's style. If you watch his HBO special, the first one where he's wearing the Pirates jacket
And I have a mullet.
and he's got a
I mean,
mullet.
the kid was a skinny kid.
Skinny kid.
He could have got punched through back then.
Yeah, it's good.
He was a good-looking kid.
Yeah, it's a skinny kid. It's a little thing called cocaine. And so
I wasn't on cocaine.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. So it's like but even his style then,
That was
even
the one where he sat on the stage and got off.
yeah, and it wasn't history,
Yeah.
but it was that style is unique to Colin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but that was
And then
much
Nanette
different.
tries to do it now. It's not
Well,
funny.
Well, what's that?
No, I said Nanette Hannah Gatsby tried to do it. It's just
I
not
love how
funny.
everyone just calls her Nanette.
Yeah, it's like yeah, she's the next one that's going to write a positive review about us too. By the way,
she'll never be a
quoted
fan
by
of
Hannah
this.
Gatsby.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, I could just say quoted by Hannah Gatsby and put a picture of Yannis's face, and it looks like enough like Hannah Gatsby. Where
People go, "That's her."
Yeah, it's
And
her.
the
She
truth
said
is-
it.
Probably they just probably think this is your podcast, and I'm
Well, that's the
I'm
thing.
just
If I made a video of you saying, if I made a video of you saying, I love the History of Hyenas podcast, and you put a little Australian accent on it, and I would just say, Hannah Gatsby, shout us out, they would just like, wow, it's amazing.
yeah, especially if I shaved, if I had a clean face.
Seriously, that should be your next character.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at CQ, man, with the
Yeah.
Pirates. Why'd you wear the Pirates jacket? How did they feel about that in New York?
You know, at the time, it's so I can't even begin to describe what was going on at that point.
You look.
But that's just what
nice
happens.
German kid.
Yeah.
I look like Christian Bale in The Fighter. Somebody said,
Yeah, that's funny.
like when he was on crack.
Yeah.
We're
But
gonna
I
have
was-
to.
You
we're
also
gonna have
look
to
like
cackle
Eileen
that.
Wuornos,
I
the
use
first
real
female
name.
serial killer.
Oh, I love Eileen Wuornos.
Cackle.
Yeah, in Monster, you got a little bit of that haircut vibe.
I like her.
Me too. She fucking did what she was supposed to do.
Not only did she kill guys, but she let go of she let the nerd go. Remember?
Yeah.
The guy's like, oh, I never did this. She's like, all right, go.
Get out of here. Yeah.
What's your favorite ones? My favorite are I love them all, but my favorite is New York Story.
Me too.
And the first one,
My-
the long story short.
Yeah.
I love the way it ends in the car.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Yeah,
My
it's a
favorite.
callback.
Here's how favorite my New York Story one was to me. That when I was in an ambulance with a heart attack and I thought I was dying, I was losing breath. What do you call that? Respirating? What do you call it?
Cardiac arrest?
When you start, your breathing starts getting lower and lower. What's the medical term?
Dying.
Shallow breath.
But I thought it was like respirate. I don't know.
Asphyxiated?
I was
Asphyxiated.
literally like this, and I was like, at least I got New York Story out.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how much I love New York, because the way we all grew up, I mean, you know, New York, what it meant, and to be able to say, hey, guess what? This is not crazy. This is not racist.
Oh, shallow breath. I
This
think
is how
it's
we
called
grew up.
dyspnea.
Yeah.
Like, that was so,
Let me make-
for some reason, that meant more to me than any of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So you really thought that when you were laying there?
I
You
really
about,
thought that. And here I am. We're celebrating. We're talking about Park Slope. We're celebrating this beautiful New York vibe. And Chris is looking up shallow
I mean,
breath.
I can't handle it.
No, I
He's
just want to
looking up
no,
shallow
no,
breath
because I said
because he doesn't
dyspnea.
like his ego.
No, because I said
no,
no.
because his ego. He's like, I'm the medical guy. He looked to me for the answer, and I didn't have it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it off Google, which I could have done.
Yeah, he could have done it.
No, but
You
can
should
check
have
the tape.
celebrated with us.
No,
Could
check
have
the
been the
tape.
end of the podcast.
Check the tape. I said dyspnea. Nobody listened. You guys were talking about, and then I just had to fact check it, and I was right.
Wait a minute.
It's called
Wait a
dyspnea.
minute.
So it's
I want to check this down about dyspnea.
Dyspnea. Mike, you heard me say dyspnea before I busted out the phone.
I
but
told
they were
you,
too
he's
busy
a
talking
doctor.
about fucking college heart attack
Yeah.
to realize what a true genius I am.
It could have been a perfect wrap up for all of us for loving New York.
Yeah.
And instead, it's about dyspnea. That's going to be the wrap
Yeah,
up.
Chrissy dyspnea.
The kid, I mean, he was talking about like the thoughts about the special he shot
Yeah.
on his. He's on his deathbed, and you're going
Yeah.
like, you're fucking.
I'm on fucking dating apps.
You're googling, cuz.
It's not fucking. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
He's on WebMD.
Yeah.
No, I mean you are a fucking smart kid. That
Nobody's
you know that.
denying you're smart,
I'm
but
not knowledgeable in the medical field.
You're a doctor. You're basically.
I got a doctorate.
Yeah, your aunt still thinks you're a doctor.
Yeah, she thinks I'm a doctor, and she thinks I think with my dick.
She told us that, and also her house smells like Newports and fucking corn chips.
Yeah, it's what it is.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a familiar smell.
Yeah,
It
no.
smells like working class Brooklyn.
You're in New York. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it smells like a Trump voter.
yeah.
So-
So let's get. So Colin he's in the ambulance. He's dying, and he thinks the New York Story.
I think a New York Story, because I was like the beauty of, like you talking about the magic, and just that everything was, you know, intertwined in that way, and it's gone now. It's just this thing where there's so many rules and regulations to what's appropriate, and
Yeah.
it's dead. And I knew it last year. My friend he does mold inspections, so he's out in Bedford-Stuyvesant, and I get a call from his phone. And it's a lady, East New York, actually. East New York, Brownsville, East New York. Lady calls me up, black lady. It's like, hey, did you, this phone, I see this number on the phone. Some guy left his phone. And I'm like, oh, that's my friend. You're right. And she goes, yeah, I mean, is he a white guy? I'm sorry, but there was a white guy here earlier. And I was like, this lady from Brownsville going, I'm sorry, was he a white guy? I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
If she's worried about being politically correct, doing somebody a favor, trying to find their phone in Brownsville, it's over.
Is there any good part? Do you think there's any positivity to it? Do you think it's like the world's a better place, or people trying to
No.
be good? It's all bad.
Well, I mean, I don't see the good part. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I think that
It's just phony bullshit.
well, it's just kind of, there's something about it that's just, when you're not able to describe certain things, it's fake. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just there's something about it. It rubs me. My gut instinct is that it's wrong. You know.
Yeah. When Colin talks, though, Colin's got the kind of, especially to like a guy like me, when he talks, I listen. It's like he's already like, he's like my de facto leader, because in his wedding, he said to me, he said, Chris, you know, and there's going to be a lot of ladies there. He said, do me a favor, take a night off tonight.
No,
I did.
No.
And I took a night off.
Excuse me.
And that's what CQ said, and I did. And I listened because he's my boss.
He was basically saying, just have a little fucking respect for my wedding.
Yeah, he said, take
and
a night
don't try
off
to
and-
bang one of my cousins. I
But
got a
you
lot of
see-
them. I'm Irish.
No, but do you understand? But do you understand how this is how all the human brain works on all of us? He goes, Colin said, hey, listen, there's going to be a lot of ladies there. No. He said, are there going to be any bangable chicks there? And I go, why did you take a night off?
Yeah, take a night
You
off.
made it that I said it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you were actually
I was
in the
answering
wrong.
the question.
Yeah. You were
I was
answering the
answering
question.
his question.
You were answering the question, and also,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of disrespectful. The guy's getting married. You don't want to
Yeah.
start trying to bang things.
Yeah.
Well, just
Like you
don't
did
even
it. Like you did at my wedding.
Well,
Yeah, it's just, what is it? Wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did.
Is that what
girl,
happened?
I got
Yeah.
to call that girl. She still has my sweatshirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
she still has
Yeah, it's just, what do you do? What are you going to do?
Yeah. It's what
Dude,
you like
that
to-
wedding was so funny.
While
to
you
watch.
while you were in the bathroom, you missed. Yannis said you go to drugstores. It's like Cheers.
I said it's like your Cheers. He said how many times you had chlamydia? Somehow I said you've had chlamydia a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I said when you walk in a Rite Aid, you just get a nod.
It's one of-
it's
yeah,
your
they just
Cheers.
know.
It's like
Yeah.
your Cheers.
They just know.
knows.
Everybody knows.
You sit down at the blood pressure machine and they just
they just know what it
hand
is.
you the pills.
Yeah, it's
But
just
what were
it
you
is.
saying about his wedding? You were saying something funny.
No, I was saying that his wedding, your wedding was funny because all the comedian egos. Like I remember, like we were sitting, like I was at like Bobby Kelly's table, and he was mad. Bobby was mad that I was at his table
there wasn't more
because
desserts?
he thought that Colin was looking at Bobby like, you know, he's like, what is fucking Colin think I'm one of the new guys here? He's like, you know, you got invited, and it was like, but he was dead serious breaking it down. Where I was like, where do you want me to sit, Bobby? I think he just put the comedians. I'm like, what am I going to sit at Seinfeld's table?
Right,
He's
right.
like, well, why am I not at Seinfeld's table? It was like so.
I think he knows the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Do I have to look at IMDb?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it was so funny.
Seinfeld, he probably just wouldn't even want him making eye contact with him. Be like,
Yeah.
no, tell this guy to stop looking at
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a feud that goes back a long way. We all know about the not you. You know.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
What
I
is
don't know
this?
about that.
No.
Is it public knowledge? Can we talk
Of
about it?
course it is.
What
is
is it?
What happened? We don't know.
I mean, I'll ruin the story, but basically,
You don't ruin anything.
no. But Bobby should tell you the story because he tells it perfectly. But basically,
Yeah.
I'll give you what I remember of it is Bobby early on. He's sitting at the table one night. Seinfeld comes in. This is 20 years ago, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, I Detroit with the Yankees and the Red Sox or Patriots and whatever. Yeah, I think it was Mets and the Red Sox. So he goes, yeah, I'll bet you $1. Jerry's like, okay. So a few weeks later, Bobby goes on the road. Some guy picks him up with a van with all Seinfeld posters and like just cut out like almost like a stalker van, all Seinfeld obsessed.
Yeah.
So he's with the guy. The guy knows everything about Seinfeld, driving around.
The guy would
Because-
drive around watching Seinfeld episodes on a TV.
Oh, okay, good.
Wow.
So you know the story. Good. So tell me if I do it. And so yeah.
Yeah.
So then he comes back to New York. Jerry's coming off stage. Bobby's in the hallway by the cellar. And he goes, hey, I owe you that $1. Because whoever lost, the Yankees or whatever, Red Sox, I owe you that $1. And I have a funny story for you. Jerry turns around the stairs and goes, if I forget about the $1, will you not tell me the story? He turns around and starts walking up the stairs and then turns back around. Bobby's already like humiliated. And he turns around and goes, I'll be upstairs at the table if you want to talk. And Bobby goes, okay, thanks. And he goes, not you. Behind Bobby is Jerry's publicist. And Bobby turns around to look at her and she just shrugs like,
Not you.
I've heard so many stories about Jerry Seinfeld. Like, you know, when I heard the one where he walked past Judah and he was like, still doing that? I mean, so I was coming off stage on Gotham. He was coming up. And he said, as I was coming off, he said, hey, that was really funny. And I went to touch him, like, hey, and then I caught myself in the middle and just kind of did like a, I was like, I remember you don't want anyone touching you or looking you in the eye.
Right.
And I was like, thanks, Jerry, just kind of scooted away.
what were we gonna clap him on the back?
Yeah, I was gonna
Thanks,
clap.
pal.
Yeah, I was gonna clap him on the arm. I was gonna be like, "Thanks, Jerry." You know, as I
old
was
bear
walking
hug.
by,
Yeah.
and I caught myself mid-end.
I remember Bobby was pissed because Colin's mom died very close to when Bobby's stepdad died, and he was pissed that more stars went to Colin's mom's wake than his dad's funeral.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. And he was dead serious. He's like, what the fuck? Seinfeld was there?
Yeah.
Colin's mom's wake.
Hey, first of all, it was in New York. His was in Boston.
I know, that's what I
Yeah.
said. I was like, well, it's a lot of. He's like, yeah, fucking not even the Boston guy showed up.
Yeah.
He was all pissed off.
Bobby, what
He was like, because he was mad at me. He's like, oh, really nice going to Colin's mom's wake, but you can't respect me. He was like, I fucking employ you at Riotcast. And I was like,
You know, at Rachel's wedding, Colin said to me, he was like, because he watched me at some show, and he was like, I like this, you like what you're doing, fucking, I like it. And he's like, good stuff. He goes, but you got to get rid of the, fucking fuck you to the audience. And then I just thought about it for the whole wedding. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta,
Yes.
Colin told me I gotta be more likable.
yeah.
You got. I
Yeah.
saw it. I was like, this guy's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched
Yeah.
that set, and it was not an easy room.
Yeah.
But I said, oh, just the anger,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the resentment.
Yeah.
And you think it doesn't show.
Yeah, I know.
been there.
I'm trying to get rid of it.
You got to.
Yeah.
I got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah.
It's funny too how like the guys like at
it's a
Colin's
block.
level, like they just don't know who has a career and who like they don't care
Oh,
at
it's
all.
hilarious.
Like he was like, "Oh, is Yannis? What is he open for you?" It's like this guy's got a career for 20 years, but it's like nobody cares. They don't even care about my career. Nobody
Yeah.
cares about anybody's career
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
level.
No,
Either
it's-
they know you
Yeah.
or they don't care.
No, it's funny. Yeah, no,
Right.
it's really funny. You go, yeah, it's the, no, I get it. I understand why they don't. Why would
Yeah,
they?
it's like why? Who cares?
Yeah.
Does Jerry Seinfeld care about? Who cares?
No, I mean, I think Jerry Seinfeld might have thought that like it might have been my first time on stage, and he was
doesn't-
just saying he had no idea.
He thought it could have been like a Make a Wish.
Yeah.
And they let
I
you do
know, but
stand
the
up.
point is, it doesn't matter. Your careers don't matter to older guys.
Yeah.
It's like who's good.
yeah,
Sure.
So when I'm seeing him, it's not like, hey, this guy should be. Well, I know careers don't mean anything as far as how good you are at stand up.
Sure.
Right.
It's irrelevant
Yeah.
Right.
what your status is and who's funny.
Right.
I mean, it's relevant to you guys because you all know each other's acts so
Yeah.
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
But it's like,
yeah.
You
well,
actually gave me really good advice when I first moved here
what was it?
because I had been here for like 6 months, and you just came up to me. I was eating with Liz downstairs, and you're like, "Enough of this Texas energy, whatever you're doing. Just be a person. Just start talking to people." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I've been quiet all the time like an idiot." Yeah. So,
you know what you could do if you want,
Texas
like
energy.
when you're a
Texas
legend. When you're a legend in comedy, you could really fuck with people.
Yeah.
You just go up and say something.
Yeah.
Just go, hey man, I saw
Yeah.
that. You could take their worst bit and be like, that's your best bit.
Oh.
Do
That's
that.
what it is. Well,
Yeah.
Colin, I got news for you. Nate Bargatze's trying to bump you off the Mount Rushmore comedy.
What? What happened now?
Nate, Nate said he wants to be on the Mount Rushmore comedy. I was like, shut up.
Why?
Because he's just Bargatze.
He's
Bargatze
really-
tried to give Colin notes in Dublin. I prevented that.
That must have been uncomfortable to sit
I prevented
through.
that.
Well, he didn't do it.
Yeah,
He
I
just
no, I
told me-
stopped him. I said, you should. He goes, I got a tag for Colin. How do you think I should tell it to him? I was like, don't. I would say don't tell it to him.
Right. Was
Yeah.
he like, yeah.
It's just
I'm
Nate.
gonna tag Nate next time I see him. Actually.
Yeah, I'm going to tag him with a fucking left hook.
Yeah.
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 No, he's doing well. Nate's
Nate's
doing
doing
good.
what? Selling out theaters everywhere. But we got the Gramercy Theater sold out, but now tickets just reopened, so I don't know what's going on.
Probably somebody had to cancel. They
There
got
might have
sick.
been another glitch. Yeah.
Maybe they realized we were lying when we said Burr was going to be there.
Yeah.
We're just starting to lie now to market. We're just lying.
Yeah, he said they
You know
released
what?
some holds. There's 19 tickets back open. What the fuck? Go get them, I
Yeah,
guess.
why do they do that though? It doesn't make us look good.
Because now we look like it. We can't.
we can't go back and say there's 19 more
Let's
tickets.
talk about it later.
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can't talk about business on the podcast.
Yes.
Veneti is screwed in.
Yeah.
Oh.
We got.
Yeah.
By the way, we have to go.
How long have we been doing?
An hour and 15 minutes. I got Nick's tickets with my future wife,
Yeah.
and we still got business meetings. We still got a business meeting.
We
I can't talk about the business. I'm sorry.
You know, we really should have. The moment was when he talked about he was on. That's when we should have ended.
When
But
what?
like like when a comic's bombing and he just goes too long.
Yes.
Like, you keep trying to get him back.
I blame Chris for Googling the fucking WebMD.
This
That was the
media.
moment.
If you weren't, that was the moment where we've been like he was this beautiful moment. He's on
Or
the
we
stretcher.
leave-
He's seeing the light. The
Or
Virgin
you-
Mary.
Yeah.
The Catholic things. Is it true? What were you seeing when you got close?
It wasn't that close.
No.
I mean, they said you die on the table, but I was asleep, so I missed that part. But I mean,
Did they tell you died on the table?
yeah, but only
Really?
only for about 30 seconds.
So without modern medicine, you would have been a goner for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I caught it right away.
Yeah.
Imagine
Well, we at the
old
gym,
days.
you said, right?
I was at the gym. I just left the gym, and I was like, oh, it was like I'd been having like these. My throat was burning after working out for like months, but I was so worried about getting sick that I couldn't do my shows that weekend. I was always like, oh shit, I hope I don't get a strep throat or something, and then it would go away. So that's one of the signs.
Really?
What is that?
See, I didn't even know that
I didn't
sign.
know that. What is that
burning
sign?
after a workout in the throat?
Yeah.
After exertion?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that
What
at all.
kind of burning? Like heartburn? It felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felt like a heartburn. And I
So
was
you
like,
can't even
"Oh."
tell. You thought it was just indigestion, probably.
Yeah, it was only happening. I thought I was getting it like a some kind of infection
Right.
that I would not be able to do my show. So then it would go away and I'd be like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It was happening for like 6 months, just almost every time. And this time it was really, I felt like I smoked a pack. I go to some guy at the gym as I'm leaving. I feel like I smoke. My stylist, his wife loves Chris, and he goes, my old roads lead to Rome, and he goes, that doesn't sound good. I go, yeah. And I walked downstairs. I go, oh, I pulled a muscle in my chest. Shit. He said, I thought you have a numb arm.
Yeah.
It wasn't numb at all.
Well,
Yeah.
no, normally they say it feels like an elephant sitting on your chest.
It felt like somebody's pushing a fist in my chest. I was like, I pulled a muscle. Then I started sweating. I was like, oh, no.
You knew.
Yeah.
And then you dialed 911 yourself?
I ran downstairs to the front desk and I said, could you guys call an ambulance? I'm having a heart attack. And
Really?
they,
Was
"No,
that
it took
come?"
so long to get there. And the whole time I'm in pain. I'm cursing. Luckily,
How-
my building is young. There's a bunch of old ladies that would have kicked me out. They'd co-op over to kick me out. I'm going, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Cursing like crazy.
Yeah.
So much pain.
You were like, come on, man. They're like, hey, watch the gender. They fucking 911.
He's trying to give us a button to leave. It ain't going to work.
Yeah, fucking, I'm successful too, Nate.
Thank you so much for doing this,
All right,
Colin.
later. Where can people
Thanks,
find your
guys.
stuff?
It's the
I'm
name
Colin
of this
Quinn.
I think the name of this episode should be I'm Successful Too, Nate.
All right, see you later.
Hey, yo!